Welcome to the Jones Zone, a podcast by Darryl and JJ Jones.
Hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for similar content. We have videos explaining escrow, title insurance, how to get top dollar for your house, mistakes sellers make all the time, how to evict a bad tenant, and so much more.
The mentality of people is they just want to win it so bad. They will just keep bidding and bidding. I had a random old painting of sheep. I had a lady spend over $1,500 on that painting, and she came to pick it up and she goes, I just really liked it. I think my sell-through rate is 98.3%.
You're kidding. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jones Zone. Today we have Barbara Bloxom. She works for Caring Transitions. This is a topic that comes up a lot. What she does is she helps elderly people who need help packing and moving and getting into either a rest home or... Barb, tell us what you do.
Anybody that's really looking to downsize, but most of our customers and clients are moving to an assisted living facility or memory care. So we assist with the whole process of moving, packing. We're the only company that really focuses on everything from start to finish.
Well, you just helped me with Eugene, a client of mine. I probably should. It's not that bad to disclose my good, great, awesome clients who he's actually moving from Placentia to, I believe, Arkansas. So do you actually go to Arkansas? Well, you don't go to Arkansas, do you? Or do you?
We can do cross-country moves. A lot of people are leaving the state of California. So we do have a lot of cross-country moves, and we'll either do it with a moving company that will deliver their items, or a lot of people are going with the pod idea. So different pod companies, and we assist with getting the pods filled with the items that they want to bring. And then obviously getting it to where their final destination is.
I thought was great about you guys was you'll meet with the people. Maybe you could walk us through. So you'll meet with the people. You kind of go through items that they're going to pack and take with them. And then also, do you also help with either estate sales or anything like that? Or how's that work?
Yeah, we can do, depending on what is in the home, marketable items, if there's enough items to do an estate sale, or we also have a great platform for online auctions. It's our own platform. It's called CT Bids. It's growing every year. It's a wonderful way to get rid of items without necessarily having the intrusive part of an estate sale where 300 or 400 people are going to show up and you're going to spend so much time sort of organizing the home. It's done differently, and that's usually where I get most of my questions from. Everyone's always intrigued on the online auction part of that.
We're going to be too. In fact, go ahead and delve into it. How's the CT? C, the letter C like cat, and T like Tom, ctbids.com.
Correct. So it's an online auction platform. We do have an app for it. There's probably just over 1 million people that are registered buyers and bidders on the platform. So it's one of the biggest ones that there is, and it's only for people that own a Caring Transitions franchise. So the general public cannot use that platform. But it's really slick. We also have an app on our phone on our end when we're going to list the items for sale. Very quick. Usually I can do a listing in less than 2 minutes. So we photograph it, do measurements if we need to, little description about it. Like I say, if there's any flaws, any chips or anything on it, we disclose that sort of thing. And then it goes live whenever we set it up for to go live. Then we can run it for kind of 4 to 7 days is my sweet spot for running the online auction, and we advertise it. So it is out to the masses. It's advertised on every selling platform that there is pretty much online. Then we have a pickup. It's just a specific date and time, a short window, 3-4 hours typically is how I do the pickups, where people come get the items that are more local. Then we also take things that have people have opted to have shipped. So if they want it shipped to, I just did like literally almost 30 packages for shipping from an auction I just finished.
Meaning the buyer was out of the area and they wanted to buy it and you had to ship it to them.
Yeah, they pay for the shipping part of it. So like I say, it's a lot less intrusive than having everybody congregate on an area that might have an HOA, or if it's gated, sometimes that's going to be a no-go. But we can actually even do the online auction. Most gated communities are fine with it. We can provide them a list of even who's coming, all their details if they need to.
So you can either do an on-site auction or an estate. So do you oftentimes will do like an on-site and then anything that doesn't sell, put it online, or just oftentimes probably just put everything online, or just do it the opposite?
Yeah,
everything
either
online and then
way. Yeah, I mean, if there's a lot of higher value items, I would opt more to put it on an online auction. I think it would do better than having, the local people come, because when you have an estate sale, especially in Southern California, the traffic, the time it takes to go from place to place, is not maybe as easy as other places. So you might be able to hit like 3 estate sales in an area during the day. Way we can open the whole entire country to the sale, so we don't have to limit, the amount of people that are coming to be in, like, I don't know, 30-mile radius, let's say. So then we can have everybody in the country looking at it and then bidding on it from there.
yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, and how do you know to price it? Do you automatically, I think eBay, do they do it where they just automatically have a beginning price of $1, or how does that
But
part work?
we are very different, and this freaks people out. We start everything at $1.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We have ability to do a buy it now, where if somebody sees something and it's priced, they can just buy it. Or we also do have reserve pricing, where if we put a reserve price on it and if we don't meet it, then it doesn't get sold. I don't recommend that really on many things at all. Most people, the psychology is of the bidders, they want to win something. Even though they have to pay for it, that's secondary in their brain. They're like,
Yeah.
I want to win, I want to win. They get outbid and they get outbid and they get outbid, and they're just constantly hitting their button on their phone. And then all of a sudden, the auction closes and they're the winner. But if I put, say $400 or $50 on something, a lot of times people go, oh, okay. But maybe they'll just look past it unless they really, really want something. But the mentality of people is they just want to win it so bad that they just don't want to be like to lose something. So they will just keep bidding and bidding. Like, for instance, I had a random old picture painting of sheep. Don't know much about this. Art is art is just all over the place. You never know what has value. And I had a lady spend over $1,500 on that painting. And she came to pick it up and she goes, I just really liked it. And I go, okay, because I couldn't find another one online. I found one other one similar, but that was it. So it was definitely an original painting. It was very old, but she came to pick it up. I go, well, here it is. It was beautiful, old wooden frame carved out, and it was a really cool painting. But I just was like, gave it to her and she was very happy. She was just like, this is so beautiful. I wanted this so bad. And I guess it just spoke to her. So, $1,500. I thought maybe $100. Like,
Right.
I don't, so it's very fun. It's very interesting. And sometimes people don't know what they have. And on the flip side, sometimes people think they have a lot of really super things because they paid a lot of money for it. Doesn't mean that because you paid a lot of money for something that the value of it in today's market is going to be super, and vice versa. An old little toy. I had an old doll, a tiny little old doll, and a really cool drummer boy. And I thought the lady for sure that came to pick it up wanted the little drummer boy, but no, she wanted that little tiny little doll.
So if someone has a house full of stuff, you guys they call you, they set an appointment, you come over and check out everything, depending on whether or not they want to sell it or move it. You guys come up with a strategy.
So if they're really partial to, I don't know, they have a collection of Yadros, let's say, and they're like, they want to bring them all. Super, we'll pack them all up for you and get them moved, that kind of thing. So we do kind of assist with also helping the downsize part of it. So kind of start to finish would be they usually get a phone call and I say, okay, what's your story? And then a little background on that. And then I say, okay, well, I'm going to come take an assessment of, what you have, where you're moving to. I usually have the floor plan of where they're going. Or I know it quite well that I know sort of how the furniture is going to fit. Most of the time it's like, this is the only way that the furniture is going to fit.
Because it's going to a rest home that you might be familiar with.
Exactly. So then we decide what they need, what kind of services. So I'll ask them, do you need the packing part of it with the help with the downsizing? Do you need the floor plan or space planning to make sure your stuff's going to fit? Have the measurements, and we measure everything. Then we help them kind of make decisions on what they should bring. I mean, some places don't have a kitchen that has an oven. So, that's probably not going to bring your baking sheets, your turkey casserole dishes, that kind of thing, because you're not going to need it. So just helping people, really hand-holding service is kind of how we are. We really just are really patient and help the client decide what they want to bring or what is going to fit into the new place. Then we can get the moving days sorted out. Then we'll do the unpack on the other end if they like. And then we can also decide what are we going to do with all the stuff? Like what's left? If there's enough stuff that I think, and it's stuff that people are buying right now, also kind of got to know the market of what's selling.
It seems as though the market's always changed. I've come across so many things where, like you just mentioned, they might have spent a lot of money on it, but unfortunately, there's just no demand.
Yeah, like pool tables and pianos, those are really difficult to get. To nobody, to get a piano retuned, I guess you've got to do about 4 or 5 times just to get it back to working order. So you may get a piano for almost no dollars, but you got to get it moved over to your house. And then you also have to get it tuned because most clients don't tune their pianos. It just becomes I'm going to put my tchotchkes and my picture frames on my piano, and nobody's played it in 30, 40 years. So unfortunately, it's sad, but there's just not a huge market for that kind of thing. But
Well,
on the
it
flip
happens.
side, yeah. So you never know what. I had clients that had beautiful furniture, just absolutely gorgeous furniture, this massive house, but really big furniture. So again, their furniture didn't sell for a whole lot of money, but a Game Boy from their son that he had with an unopened game from the 90s sold for $552.
CT, couple things actually.
Yeah.
CT, you said that it's only open to your clients, but that's to sell something. Now, how does the public? But the public, anybody can go on the site to buy something. Right?
Correct. Yeah. So you can go desktop or the app on your phone, both iPhone, Android, and have the buyer's app on it. So anybody can register to be a bidder. You can look at the site without being registered at all. Also, if you're just like, I just want to see how this works. Once I give people the clients the site to look at or the children to look at, I just go on there, spend like half an hour perusing around. You'll get to understand how it works really quickly by just looking at the auctions that are ending, the bids that are happening that usually happen the last 2 days, the last hour kind of thing is when all the bids usually start coming in. So,
and when you say children, those typically are adult children who are helping their elderly parents move.
Yeah.
So do you do the full gamut? Meaning, can someone contact you or your company and say, hey, okay, look, we're moving. And not only do we want to take some stuff to where we're moving to, we also want to sell some stuff, and they also want everything cleaned out and throw stuff away. I mean, some, stuff that may not have any value.
Yeah, like trash, like we have, we'll do the clean part of it, which literally means we will open every drawer, every attic, every shed in the back, every cupboard, everything, and take everything out. So there won't be like a Q-tip left, a paper clip left, like everything will be taken away.
See, there's a reason that you exist, because there's got to be, business is good right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm super busy.
Yeah,
summer is also very busy, so
yeah, because it's funny, the enormous percentage of my clients are people who inherit a home or who are moving out of state. So both those scenarios require a lot of effort. Especially inheriting a property, because oftentimes that's just stuff that they're not going to necessarily want or have a need for, etc. So this is really, wow, what a benefit. I think you're going to be, I'm not surprised that you're busy. So you go through, you figure out, okay, what they're going to take. And how long does the process take? I know that's probably a loaded question because it depends on how much stuff there is, but let's call it an average 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house that's modestly done. I mean, that's a matter of, they call you, you get there and within a couple of days and you market up your plan, and then you can have someone moved in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but less than that. Say they're moving to an assisted living or independent living. Typically 2 days packing is usually like the most that we need. Usually 1 or 2 girls, 2 days worth of packing. It's about 6 hours. I don't make a 10-hour, 8-hour day for my clients because it's already really taxing, even if it's an emotional thing. So they get tired early. So by the time 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rolls around, we're done packing. And then typically the next day or the day after, we have the movers come and they get there in the morning. Typically, if I usually try to use 3 moving guys, and they've been with me for like 3.5 years now. So they're very good. And I get the truck all loaded up, drive over to the new place, do the unload. They'll put the furniture where we're pretty much where we tell them to put it. So we do have the move manager on site for all of that to make sure the movers take everything that's needed and they place the items in the rooms that they want, as well as the boxes that are labeled to go into those rooms. So that move day is kind of can be a little bit longer. Like I say, depends on, some people move to assisted living or independent living, and I've moved people into 1,700 square feet. They have a 3-bedroom with den, really large place. And that move was a big move because they had a ton of stuff and they brought almost everything with them. Wow. So there was not a lot of downsizing on that one, and they just were going to rent the house out. So they left some stuff in the home. So that was that scenario. We do the unpacking usually because they're moving typically to something smaller. The unpack is usually just one day, usually the next day.
It's probably important to stress, when you unpack it, you put it right where it needs to go. Everything. It's not like you just unbox it. You put it away.
No, it's called resettling. So we'll put it in places where maybe we'll suggest to the client, here, let's maybe put your coffee pot, and your coffee mugs and your, those dishes and such in this corner. So you're not going back and forth. Sometimes I don't think about that. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't think to put my coffee cups with the coffee maker. But I'm like, well, that's, much easier for you. You don't have to walk 4 or 5 steps to another cupboard. So just trying to give them a little bit of an idea where things could go, or maybe this would make your life easier if you do this. Because maybe they haven't thought about it, or sometimes we'll hang up pictures and things like that. But a lot of times the moving and the unpacking is kind of a lot for them already. The last thing they're thinking about is like, where exactly are all my pictures and paintings going to go?
Oh, but you will do that.
Yeah, but we will do that if they're really insistent on, like, I want everything done today and it needs to look perfect. We will also come with our stud finder and our nails and all that jazz and help them organize. I've done a complete, entire, like, insanely crazy, like, full wall of pictures and paintings, all spaced out perfectly on walls before. So it's definitely time consuming, but it looks fabulous when it's done. But it depends on what the client wants. I've gone shopping for clients that are like, I don't know what's going to fit in my new place. Can you go to Living Spaces and organize some furniture for me?
Wow. Now, have you ever, a couple things, how far out are you? And then have you ever turned down business? So first, let's do the second one first. So have you ever gone to a place and, I guess what I mean by turned down, I guess that would only change. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I have plenty of clients who have, let's say, some things that are not quite as in fashion and might not be really too valuable. I mean, like a 25, 35-year-old couch that's past its life form. And then you would just arrange, for example, things that would go to move to where they're at and or estate sale or trash. Right?
Correct. Furniture doesn't, unless it's mid-century modern, perfect Scandinavian wood, etc. Those things are still a hot commodity. But other than that, people just are not interested in really large furniture anymore. Used furniture is tough. I just tell people, I'm like, it's kind of like an Amazon world now. Even with furniture, people don't want to leave the house to get their food, their prescriptions, really anything. The same thing with furniture. They're like, they just want furniture, a $500, $400 couch they'll get delivered. It's not the greatest quality.
You're able to sell a majority of your stuff.
I think my sell-through rate is 98.3%.
You're kidding.
No. That's when I looked last week. Very rarely can we not sell something. Again, it's typically the things that we don't sell is typically a piano, some older furniture. Even if it's in great shape, nobody sat on it before. It's just the younger generation that's looking for furniture just wants to go and get their, go to Ralph's and get their credit card or whatever the store.
And what do you do? What do you do with an old piano that you can't sell? You just do. Are you able to donate it somewhere? Or you just have to
try to. Yeah, we try to donate it. It's not super easy because, like I say, most houses we go and have a piano because that was just the way it was back in the day.
And in worst case scenario, you take it to the dump.
Yeah, and I hate doing that because we really take everything we possibly can to donation, with exception of, a few, like an old couch that has tears on it or rips. Like Goodwill doesn't want it. Salvation Army, they don't want it. They want something like really nice to sell, and that makes sense why they don't want your trash. So we can't take it there either. So we will do like a dump run, and we'll do the e-waste. We'll do apparently the hazardous waste thing is really weighs on a lot of people's minds.
Right.
So we will take that all away and take it to the appropriate hazardous waste place. No worries. We do it all the time. So I fill my van up and put things in boxes and drop it off on my way home. So
How far out are you? Meaning, if someone's to call you today,
yeah.
you would be able to get out there in the next week, 2 weeks, 1 day?
Well, it all depends on my schedule.
It'll vary.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if somebody said it had to move on Monday, I could probably do it.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe for more.